Well, I'm scared of what's going to happen in Western Europe, too.
Yeah.
You know, you plan a trip, you want to go there. I want to go to Italy for 4 years. I haven't been able to make it because of the pandemic. And now this, you know, it's like, what's going to happen there?
All right, that was Joy Behar. If you don't know her by now, for more on this, let's welcome in a reporter for the Daily Caller, Kay Smythe. Kay, welcome to Wake Up America. So Joy Behar basically saying, well, I couldn't travel because of the pandemic and now this war. I mean, how insane is that?
It doesn't actually surprise me. You know, I wrote an op-ed for the National Pulse about a week ago that really tried to hone in on the tone deafness of this show. I mean, it's just been essentially perpetuated through... oh, yeah, that's my piece. So this has just been perpetuated through this show. And I think it's a really actually negative representation of women. It shows us as ill-educated. It shows us as petty. It shows us as kind of embarrassing on the global stage, really. I mean, I certainly don't see anything that I think represents me on that show. I don't know about you, Allison, but I can't imagine that you would.
No. But the other thing, too, is what we're seeing is this is a pattern with the pop culture of America, which is portraying a lot of information to our youth right now. And the big problem, too, is it's transferred over into the military, the woke military, which on a global stage is not looking good for us, right?
I mean, it's not even just on the global stage from a sort of perception perspective. This is an actual practical issue. You know, the military right now, especially the Air Force, is less than 70% capable of any kind of real aerial warfare. So say if the CCP, if Russia decided to attack the United States right now, or any of our allies, and we had to intercept, less than 70% of our aircrafts are actually capable of flying those missions. And most of those, that's a very generous statistic, most of those are unmanned drones. So when you look at, say, like the F-16s, the MiG killers, when you look at the F-35s, which were two of those of each were just scrambled by the Netherlands to go and support Eastern Europe in the last few days, ours are less than 50% capable of actually flying missions. And mission-capable readiness means being able to fly one mission. So
not land and do another one.
But the focus is on being diverse and woke and
vaccinated.
You know, group hugs
They've lost members of the military because of this, of being vaccinated as well.
Yes, and so, you know, it feels a bit weird for me being an immigrant sitting here talking about wokeness in America, the American military, especially having a British accent. But, you know, when I moved out to the United States, I realized that this really is the land of opportunity. I came here about 7 years ago, and it's hard to not fall in love with this country. And I really do feel like I'm living out the American dream and watching the highest ranking members of our military, the people who we watch on these sort of more leftist TV stations, let's be honest, just represent this country so illogically and so practically dangerously. It's really terrifying for me, and I don't know what the long-term consequences are going to be. But...
Well, I can tell you some of the long-term consequences. Right now, we see in Ukraine, they're arming their civilians, 70-year-old women in the streets. They're arming them, teaching them how to fight and hold back the Russians right now. 70%, as of today, 70% of eligible age people in America are not eligible for military service. Is this, I would say, like, this is like a complete slide away from any type of national readiness as well.
Oh, my goodness. I had no idea that statistic was like that. Well, I think the one thing that America does have going for it is its Second Amendment. That makes me feel incredibly safe. I just moved from Los Angeles because California became so kind of woke and very dangerous with what they're calling a homeless crisis, but is actually a mental health genocide, really, against drug-addicted, mentally ill people. I moved to North Carolina. Everyone in North Carolina and their mums has a firearm, and I feel so much safer living there than I did when I lived in California. So I think that's the sort of one positive takeaway that we have right now is that Second Amendment.
What do you think will change? Will anything change? Will it make a difference? Especially when you have programs like The View or these left-leaning media outlets that put this information out that half the time isn't even accurate, it's just opinions, but then we have people listening to it and believing it. Will anything change?
I actually think it will, and I actually have to thank you guys for that and the whole team here at Newsmax, because if it wasn't for Newsmax, I don't think I would have anywhere that I could tune into. I mean, it's such a gift for me to be able to sit here and talk with you two today about this, just because you guys also make me feel safe. And I know that my peers, my friends, we all feel a huge sigh of relief when we can turn on the television at night or even first thing in the morning and see ourselves represented. And The View also just lost like over 1 million viewers.
Yeah.
So that's also another
There you go.
upside here.
But let's go. We were talking a little bit about the social impact of this. Is like when you have, like you were saying, there's a huge swath of women that do watch that show. They've portrayed themselves as, you know, real news, real issues for women. But you also have an entire generation of people that are flash headline people. They are, you know, we are getting our news from Twitter in 240 characters or less, and then you have these clips being tweeted out. What impact does that have on another generation, especially when it comes to voting?
Oh my goodness, that is such a superb question. I mean, my presumption, my sort of research then, I guess, would suggest that this is actually kind of what our enemies want. When you look at TikTok, it's a Chinese-run platform. They use this to almost like indoctrinate the masses, particularly Gen Z, into this sort of lulled sense of ignorance, really. And, you know, obviously Twitter being sort of this ideological echo chamber that's sort of like an acid trip in the metaverse. I think the long-term consequences of this are really going to be just further reinforcing sort of short-term clickbait thinking.
Right.
But if there's social engineering for the negative, there can be social engineering for the positive.
That makes sense.
And I think it takes, you know, voices like yours. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I guess a voice like mine with the
absolutely.
platform I've gotten through the Daily Caller, the National Pulse, to really sort of be that positive change, to represent what we want to see and what we need. And, you know, Carl, I think you do an incredible job of representing what modern men need to be. Listen, I mean, like, I want to be you. So, you know.
No, I appreciate that. Sticking with The View, you also have Whoopi Goldberg. You know, she said some things, but then what she recently said, you know, she was obviously, you know, suspended for it. But I mean, the amount of people who follow her, I mean, and you even saw Joy Behar even kind of made a look when she made that remark. But these are powerful people that are saying these things.
That's kind of what you get when you give actors a platform. And I think that's what a lot of people forget when they watch Whoopi, is that she is an actress. She's not one of these highly educated, does her research, has her notes in front of her, and holds herself to that higher standard. She's an actor. And after living in Los Angeles, and again, a lot of my very close friends are actors, but I mean, I wouldn't trust them to parallel park my car, let alone have that kind of platform. And I think, we just have to move away from that. And again, we've got Newsmax doing that, and I think that there is hope. There really is hope. I at least still
We'll
have
keep
hope.
writing those articles
Kay,
because we love them.
Thank you for your perspective. We appreciate it.